Last week we were talking about motivation. This week we want to continue with a related topic, looking at attitudes and perception. When we think about attitudes, oftentimes we link attitude and behavior together. According to the research presented in the chapter that I uploaded for you to look at, we oftentimes have that relationship backward, and it's in fact behavior that affects attitudes. Nonetheless, attitudes have the ability to impact our workplace. And we break attitude down and look at it in 5 different dimensions. We consider job satisfaction and how attitude affects that, as well as your job involvement, organizational commitment, organizational support, and employee engagement. And looking on those 5 dimensions, we can get a pretty good sense of how attitude affects the work that someone does and the satisfaction they get out of the work that they do. As we're looking at managing groups of people on complex long-term projects, this becomes important. We want to consider what's the impact of satisfied employees? What's the impact of dissatisfied employees? And as we look towards future weeks when we talk about high-performing teams, how many unsatisfied people does it take before we can derail a highly effective team into being one full of infighting and ineffectiveness? The second topic we want to take a look at this week is perception. I think this is closely related to some of the motivational theories, in particular equity theory that we looked at last time. Your own personal perception of a situation dramatically impacts or colors the way you look at that situation. We also want to consider people and how they might perceive a situation differently. And along with perception, we have this concept known as bounded rationality. And that's what our homework assignment deals with this week, which is how do we deal with bounded rationality in the workplace? The idea that there is more information than we could possibly look at. Not all the information we're presented is correct. Not all the information we're presented is weighted, so we know which is the most important, which is less important. And all of these things affect the context in which we make our decisions. And that's how bounded rationality affects our perception. So those are the topics we take up this week, and really it's a continuation or a look at some of the underlying psychological causes and effects that deal with motivation and our leading of people. Look forward to working with you this week. Thanks.